Have you ever imagined that a small machine the size of your kitchen table could be the key to feeding millions across Africa? Sounds impossible, right? I thought so too until I discovered what's happening in feed mills from Lagos to Nairobi. And you know what, go-getters? What I found changed everything I thought I knew about food security in our continent. What if I told you that the difference between poverty and prosperity in rural Africa could come down to something as simple as how we feed our animals? I know, that sounds dramatic, but here's what caught my attention. A farmer right here in Cameroon told me his chickens grew 40% faster just from switching from the traditional feed we know to the pellet feed. Another farmer in Nigeria actually saw his fish farm profit triple. And the thing is, these aren't isolated cases, so I decided to dig deeper. And what I discovered was a $192 billion industry that most Africans don't even know exists. Now, here's the most ridiculous part. While we are importing most of our animal feed, creating these pellets locally could transform entire communities. And that's something nobody's even talking about. In just a moment, I'll reveal to you why this simple technology could actually be a game changer in African development. But first, you need to understand what we are really dealing with. Now, let me paint you a picture, right? Traditional feeding methods waste up to 30% in nutrients. And this is because animals pick and choose what they want to eat, leaving the rest behind. It's like watching money literally scattered in the wind. So pellet feed is just like that thing that is coming to turn chaos into order. Imagine taking all your ingredients, corn, soybeans, vitamins, minerals, and compressing them into small, dense nuggets. No waste, no selective eating, every bite delivers balanced nutrition. This process seems almost magical. Raw material go into one end of the production line and out comes perfectly formed pellets. But here's what fascinated me the most. The heat generated during the process actually kills harmful bacteria like salmonella. So we are not just making feed more efficient, but we are making it safer. But wait until you hear about the economics behind this. The numbers I'm about to share will make you rethink everything about agricultural investment in Africa. So here's where things get interesting. The global feed pellet machine market was worth $131 billion in 2022. By 2030, we are looking at $192 billion. That's nearly a 5% growth every single year. Now let me ask you something, right? How much of that massive pie is Africa getting? Now, what's most astonishing and even ridiculous is that while Africa has 60% of the world's on-farm land and a rapidly growing population, we are barely scratching the surface of this opportunity. But here's what really caught my attention. A small-scale pellet production line can cost anywhere between $5,000 to $50,000. Compare that to importing feed and the math becomes crystal clear. Local production pays for itself in months, not years. So apart from the fact that pellet feed actually helps with faster growing animals and healthier animals, I want us to look at the bigger picture. By now, you should already know this proverb that I love so much. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. And you know what, go-getters? This African proverb perfectly captures what could happen if Africans really embrace the pellet production feed across the continent. Individual success stories are powerful, but imagine the collective impact. Think about it this way. Every pellet production line creates jobs, right? Not just in operation, but in sourcing raw materials, maintenance, distribution, and even marketing. We are talking about entire ecosystems of economic activity. Now, this cooperative I talked about right here in Cameroon that actually invested in pellet feed production, they changed lives within 2 years, right? They had created over 150 direct jobs already, reduced livestock mortality by 40%, and started exporting to neighboring communities. But here's the part that really moved me. Young people stopped migrating to cities. And that's because they found opportunities right at home, feeding their community and building wealth locally. In a minute, I'll show you why this changes everything about what we think about African development. Now, let me be honest with you. Not everyone sees it this way. Some economists argue that Africa should focus on high-tech industries, leaving agriculture to just some regions. They say we are too late to compete in feed production. They claim that established manufacturers in Europe and Asia have too much of a head start. And I get the point. Why fight in saturated markets where we could leapfrog in new industries? But here's what they're actually missing. Food security isn't optional. Every region needs reliable and affordable animal feed. And transportation costs give local producers a built-in advantage that technology can't eliminate. Plus, here's something that might surprise you. African raw material is often superior. Do you know that most of our raw material, when it goes abroad, it sells at premium prices? Our cassava, our meal or agricultural byproducts, they are high quality and abundant. Now, to me, the issue isn't whether we can compete, right? But it is whether we choose to take control of our own food system or remain dependent on others. So let me just quickly give you an idea of what happens if we actually do take control. And in that light, let me walk you through how this simple process actually creates powerful results. Now, the production line would normally start with a crumbler that prepares the raw material, followed by a hammer mill that grinds everything into fine particles. Think of it as creating the perfect foundation. Now, next we have a dryer that removes excess moisture. This stage is crucial for shelf life and prevention of mold. Then comes the mixer that ensures that every pellet has the exact nutritional balance. Then we have the extruder that actually brings out the pellets and makes sure that they've got the same size and shape. And last but not the least, you've got the dryer, obviously, that dries the pellets. And normally, if you are an OG on the channel, you would know that I always encourage all our productions to end with a packaging machine where the pellet or whatever final product you're dealing with will go directly to the packaging machine that will package everything and you are good to go. Now, the pellet feed is actually revolutionary because with the pellet, you not only get uniform pellets that are stored efficiently, but they are also easily transportable because they are lighter in weight, right? Not to mention the fact that they deliver constant nutrition with zero waste. But here's what makes the pellet revolution even more powerful for African development. The entire process can be scaled. Whether you are a small farmer producing it for your own animals or for commercial purpose that will be serving multiple communities, the principles remain the same. And you know what, go-getters? What I discovered even goes deeper than just efficient animal feeding. This technology represents something more fundamental: the ability to add value to raw materials right where they are produced. So instead of exporting raw corn, cassava, and agricultural waste, we are transforming them into finished products. We are capturing the value add that usually happens in other countries. Every ton of raw materials that get processed locally instead of exported multiplies its value by 3 to 5 times. And that literally means that money that used to flow out of our communities now stay and circulate locally. Now, one thing I want to attract your attention to is the fact that we spend so much time thinking that we need to catch up to the rest of the world. But maybe we just need to pick the right starting point. This is one of those machines that are not just investments. It actually reverses brain drain in action. Technical expertise from Diaspora combined with local knowledge and Diaspora capital creates a powerful combination. So if you in the Diaspora, for instance, really invest massively in such a sector, we are actually going to be creating an impact. Think about it this way. Imagine being part of feeding your continent and creating generational wealth at the same time. And unlike other investments, this one has immediate visible impact on real people's lives. The infrastructure is ready, the market is growing, and the technology has been proven. Now, the only issue is, are you ready to take the bull by the horns? I can assure you, goal-getters, that network of production facilities will actually create an impact and transform the entire continent. With that said, endeavor to like this video and share it with as many people as possible if you actually found value in it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel in order not to miss out on our subsequent videos if this is actually something that catches your interest, right? That said, thanks for watching this video and hope to see you in my next one.